Hoo, hoo, hoo. I'm a hillbilly.
Hey guys, welcome back to Just Carve Rob. Here we go. This is what our owls came out looking like. That's our little guy there. He's going to be put into that wood spirit head. He's been Mod Podged and painted and all that good stuff. So that's him. And our big guy, bigger guy I should say, there he is. That's what he came out looking like. Okay. So that's them guys. That's our owls that we carved. All painted up. He's on his little tree stump. Of course, his tail, because of his tail, he doesn't want to sit like that. So there they are. Two little owls. Woot, 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 woot. Okay, so that takes care of them. They're done. Complete. Guess what we're working on today? Seems a little fishy. There he is. The beginning of our wood spirit fish. Yep. Where do you think you're going? Come back here. His name is going to be Sunny. Sunny fish. Yep. So we have to give him a face. So basically what I've done, I took my Arbor-Tech and basically carved this guy out of a piece of cedar. So we're going to get rid of this face. And we're going to carve in a face. I don't know if we're going to have this fin here or not. Just because I might have the beard flowing back, right? Because he's swimming. When he's swimming, the water's going to push his beard back, right? So we have to decide all that yet. I just wanted to give you a show of what we're thinking on, what we're doing here. Okay, so we're probably going to fire up the dremel and get in here and round all this over down in here. Get that all to come to a point. While we're doing that, that'll give us time to think about a face. What kind of face are we going to put on this guy? Are we going to do like Ben over at Studio the Lake and put a face here? Studio on the Lake, Ben. And just put a face turned this way looking at us? Or are we going to go ahead and give him a face here on the front? I'm thinking that's what to do. Put the face on the front and let the hair blow up and over and let his whiskers flow this way. I think that's what we're going to do. But first we're going to get the body mostly done. We're going to get him rounded over here and split his fins here and then angle them so they look like they're out, right? So we got all that to do yet. So hang on. We'll be right back with the noisemakers. Okay, guys, here we are with our fish. We are going to be putting a face on this guy. So we're going to start out by, I cut them all out on my bandsaw. the nose and the chin. And right now we are using the Dremel with the saber-tooth taper burr. Saber-tooth taper burr. Man, I really need to hire me a camera guy. This old guy just ain't getting it. Okay, so basically I'm just knocking the corners off, cutting the nose in right now. We're just cutting the corners off. Like that. Flatten that out. Our next move would be cutting the brow line in, or for the eyes there. No, we're still working on the nose. Sorry. Got a little ahead of myself. That happens. Maybe I need to push my green tape back further so I know where I am. There we go. That's the brow line. We're cutting the eye line in, I guess, for the eyes. And now we're going to round that front of that face over. Got to get it rounded. The only plus about working with flat wood like this, the hardest face you can carve is on a flat piece, okay? But the good part is that I was able to cut this on my bandsaw to get the nose to pop out right away. But we still got to round all this stuff over. And we're going to use that saber-tooth burr for that coarse, extra coarse saber-tooth burr. This burr is starting to show its age. So I've had this burr for a long time. We may end up having to retire it. Yeah, might have to retire it. I've got a brand new cut saw taper burr in the burr head skull. But yeah, I use my burrs till they're absolutely no good anymore, and then I still might use them. They got to be pretty much just a round piece of metal with no points on it before I stop using them, because they're not cheap. Like $15, $20 a piece. And I don't even know if I can get them right now. With everything being shut down, I guess wood carving burrs aren't going to be an essential thing. But yep, we're working this guy down, getting that face rounded off. Working on that eye socket. Go over to the other side, work on that eye socket. He is only going to have a mustache, I think. I don't think I have the room. The way this body of this fish is designed, I don't think we're going to have enough room for a beard. So I think all he's going to get is a mustache. When I cut him out, I guess I should have made him a little bit longer, so that I could have got the face further out away from the back fin. But hey, I've never carved a fish with a face, so it is what it is. We've got too much time and energy in them to throw them in the garbage can now. And this is cedar, but I'll tell you, this is some of the best cedar I've ever carved. Usually with cedar, you start getting on the edges like that, and it just flakes off. And this is a very, very, very old piece of cedar. When I dug it out of the pile in the garage, it was like, it's been in there so long that it almost was a mahogany color, really, really dark brown. So it's been around for a while, guys. A friend of mine was cleaning out his shed, and he used to work for a company that sold wood. Not a lumber yard. They just dealt with kind of like specialty woods, I guess. So he said, come over and help me clean out my shed, and you can have whatever pieces of wood you want out of there. So I went over and helped him, and I got a boatload of, well, actually a truckload of wood out of there. They're not 8-foot pieces or anything. They're pieces of pieces. Like this piece here was probably 15 inches long, 16 inches long. That's pretty square, so it's probably 16 by 12, maybe 15 and a half. So it was a good size cedar board. It may have been a board for construction. I don't know for sure, but it was a small chunk of it anyway. And that stuff's been out there. It was in his shed for years, and then it was out in my shed for at least 5 years that I know of. So who knows how old this cedar really actually was, but it's pretty old. Drawing those eyebrows in there. And we're still keeping with that taper bit. You know, I don't know if I need to move my tape. I just need to remember to stay by my tape. Yep. And yeah, so I dug this out of the garage, and I didn't even know what kind of wood it was until I've got a sander. It's 24 inches wide, big drum sander that after you plane your wood, you run this through this big drum sander to smooth it off. So I ran it through there, and you could tell as soon as it started going through that thing, you could smell the cedar. So at that point, I knew what it was. It was cedar. And I got to looking at it. I'm like, boy, that's some pretty tight grained cedar we got there. So yeah, it's carving very, very well. It's not, you can see it's not chipping off or anything. It's a pretty tight grain wood. Now on this wood, I'm carving it with the grain running up and down from fin to fin, because I figured those would be the weakest points on this fish, would be the fins. So the grain is running up and down with the fins. So basically everything else we're carving here, and that's another thing. Usually you don't want to, well, I can't say, because like cedar is like any other wood. It has its own personality on how it wants to be handled. But you can see this is carving out very well. It's not the softest cedar I've ever carved, guys. This stuff is it's harder than the other cedars that I've carved. I can say that, but it's not as brittle. So if you're going to carve cedar, make sure you get some stuff with some tight grain if possible. And you can see how we got them big eyebrows setting up there. Yeah, we're gonna leave them big eyebrows. We're not gonna cut them down too much. I think it makes the fish look funny. But then again, a fish with a wood spirit head's gonna be funny looking anyway, right? Yeah, we got somehow that pole thing that Jordy had going on. Who had the best monster? Well, you know who won, right? Jordy. I think I ended up with 16% of the vote or something. I didn't pay that much attention. I knew I was going to lose. It's like one of them things. I've got 400 subscribers. Jordy's got like almost 14,000 subscribers. So just by sheer numbers, I knew I was going to lose. And I knew I was going to have to carve this wood spirit fish. But yeah, Ben over there, Studio on the Lake, he set this whole thing in motion. I was hoping Jordy would forget about the wood spirit fish thing. You know, Jordy over at Carver Fusion. And I hadn't heard nothing from him. And then Buddy Ben over there at Studio on the Lake, what's he do? Goes and carves a wood spirit fish. Oh boy. So, guess what? We're carving a wood spirit fish. It reminded Jordy of the bed, I guess. So, thanks a lot, Ben. That's all right. I've been wanting to carve a fish with a face for a while. So I guess it came to fruition quicker than we thought it was going to. But yeah. So this is the beginning of this fish. This will be video number 1. And so, you know, there's going to be a couple more videos on it. And I've been working hard on this fish, guys. We're like in the day 2 right now. How you like the schnoz on that fish? I don't know if you guys know who Jimmy Durante is. But yeah, he's got that big Jimmy Durante schnoz. Have you seen Jordy's video where he started chainsaw carving his fish? If you haven't, you need to go see it. He's carving a guy that he's been doing. I think he's like Benny Hill. He's been doing the Benny Hill thing. So go check that out. That is hilarious. I've watched it 10 times, and I'll probably watch it 10 more times. It is hilarious. Okay, so it looks like we're winding up on this video, guys. The first 20 minutes of it anyway. So I will see you all on the next one. Share, subscribe, like. Be awesome. Carve something awesome. And stay well on at these hard times with the health thing and everything being shut down. Yeah, so we will catch you guys on the next one. Bye. Just Carve Rob saying just carve and be awesome, my friends. Be awesome.